Exertional heat illness evaluation and treatment. What is exertional heat illness? Exertional heat illnesses are a spectrum of pathological states initiated by a collection of intrinsic and extrinsic risk factors that result in physiologic thermal injury. They commonly occur during summer workouts when an athlete is exercising for a prolonged period of time. While it traditionally occurs in hot and humid weather, a patient may still have an exertional heat illness with the absence of these conditions. Exertional heat illnesses commonly present in a few different ways. This includes heat cramps, heat syncope, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. Heat exhaustion and heat stroke present in similar fashions, with the biggest distinguisher being rectal temperature and CNS dysfunction. In the exertional heat exhaustion, rectal temperature is 104 degrees Fahrenheit or less than, whereas with exertional heat stroke is going to be greater than or 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Additionally, exertional heat stroke may have the patient presenting with CNS dysfunction, such as combative nature and personality changes. When taking a rectal temperature, the patient should be sidelined with the hip and knee flexed. As needed, appropriately drape the patient with a towel or article of clothing to protect their modesty. Clean the probe, place a protective cover on the end, and lubricate it as necessary. From there, insert the probe around 4 inches deep as indicated with a black marker. If resistance is met, stop, remove the probe, and try again. After the probe is successfully inserted, tape it down to the patient and continue monitoring core temp every 5 minutes. To begin providing treatment for an exertional heat illness patient, it is prudent to remove the patient from activity, move them to a cool, shaded area, remove excess clothing as needed, and continuously monitor vital signs. For heat exhaustion patients, it is important to rehydrate orally if the patient is responsive. If the patient does not show signs of improvement within first 5 minutes of treatment, it would be prudent to provide aggressive methods of treatment. This includes treatment that is seen for a heat stroke patient. For a heat stroke patient, the gold standard is cooling the patient first and then transporting second. In cooling the patient, it is important to provide cold water immersion, and this ensures that the patient's body is fully submerged. If it is possible, circulate the water around and continue cooling until a rectal temperature of 102 degrees Fahrenheit has been reached. Once 102 degrees Fahrenheit has been reached, the patient may then be transferred to EMS in the emergency department. Alternative cooling methods include the taco. The taco method should be implemented if cold water immersion tub is not available. This requires at least 5 to 6 people. To begin, wrap a towel around the patient's axillary region to hold their head above the water. Have at least 2 people holding up each side while another person dumps cold water and ice over the patient. The individuals holding up the sides should swish the water around to provide rapid cooling. Continue this until the patient's rectal temp reads 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Provided below is a list of my references used in this presentation. I appreciate your time, and I hope that I have been able to help you learn a little bit more about exertional heat illness.